always sits on the top of the stairs, recommend to trip me. Alright, Cookie, I'm gonna go downstairs. You can't be there. Can we go? Not allowed? You can't go? That side-eye again is so strong. Hey friends. So today, taking you guys through another flip through of my filled Traveler's Notebook refill. This one is actually the Let's Go on a Road Trip insert that came with the Road Trip TN, which we introduced at the end of 2024. And this happens to be between the time frame of February till the end of March, where we were going on these trips to Portland, to Chicago, and all kind of sort of worked out. So I was really happy that I used this road trip refill to reflect all the traveling I did in these 2 months. But starting with the arrival of the big rubber duck that came to Seattle, and funnily it didn't perch in our waters where we had we had a lake, we have like the waterfront, but instead it sits on top of a parking lot by Lumen Field, which is one of the football or baseball stadiums. But it was really fun to look at it up close and do a little sketch of it. And in early February, it started snowing, although very briefly. I always love capturing these snow-covered rooftops in our townhome, and this little cute Cookie in the winter wonderland look. Especially when it's snowy outside, I like to put on cute little holiday outfits for him, and it kind of looks like he's a little reindeer. So there's just little joys that I find in my daily routines. And I ended up, capturing a lot of these moments of Elliot, of Cookie, and these live as little snapshots and vignettes in my journal throughout the year because they're just so adorable, and I wanted to have memory of that. I went to the zoo and got to be super up close with a tiger. It was literally leaning against the glass, super close, and I was actually a little freaked out. Went on sunny walks with my dog. I love documenting food too, so whenever we go check out a new restaurant or eat something good, I like to journal about that as well. I had some friends come to visit, so we were documenting all the fun meetups and trips that we did in Seattle. This is another food review kind of experience. We were really close with one of this favorite Korean barbecue restaurant down in Renton. The owner knows us super well, and he even gave Elliot a commemorative t-shirt, so we love visiting him and eating at their K barbecue place. So in the beginning of March, we went down to Portland to visit our in-laws, and also I got to hang out with Kelly for a little bit, and I enjoyed journaling and drawing spontaneously when we had the chance to sit down with our things. We actually had a little fright at the beginning of the trip because we left the house and forgot to take 2 bags of coffee beans that we were going to bring down to Portland for his parents. And through the camera, we saw Cookie tore into those coffee bags. Coffee beans was everywhere on the ground. We were already 25 minutes away on the road, and we had to circle back, rush home, make sure he didn't ingest any of it. And it looked like he didn't. He looked fine, but it was really scary. We almost thought we had to call off our trip because of that. This little rascal. We had some nice meals down in Portland. And with my points, we were able to redeem nights at the Ritz, which is always a treat because they have this gigantic pool with a good view. And I think because Portland is sort of this, I guess, lower tier city, so it's actually relatively more affordable to book the Ritz at the Portland location. So we always take advantage of it. Whenever I go to Portland, I have to visit this place called Kamudang, which is my favorite Thai street food place in Portland. Kelly introduced it to me, and we always meet there for lunch. And we also got to visit a cool new store called Reggie's Manga Shop, which is a cool little house in northern Portland where they have these shelves full of manga comics that you can borrow or read or purchase. They play all these retro Japanese music, city pop, and we had a good time just journaling the shared spaces. It was a great experience, and I enjoyed journaling about it. And finally, came back from the Ritz back to city. Oh, but here's just a lot more of the whole trip experience. And you'll find that sometimes during busier trips, I tend to not journal as much, but I rely on coming home, printing out all the photos, and slap them onto my book, scrapbook style, which works out fine too because it's easier to have the images be the prompt, and then I can write about them later. And my favorite activity is to set all these pages up, and then on the weekend I would go to a cafe and fill it in like a picture book. And this happens to be early towards the mid-March now, and all the cherry blossoms are slowly peeking out. So these were when the cherry blossoms are still in its slightly budding state, but the plums were definitely already blooming here and there. And then somehow we head out again. We went out to Chicago to attend the Chicago Stationery Fest. We love going to Chicago. Elliot's extended family lives in Chicago, so we've been quite a few times. The food is amazing. We love getting this delicious pastrami sandwich from this place called Manny's. Finally landed in Chicago. Elliot got a car. And we're headed not to Chicago Stationery Fest yet. Going to Manny's. He joined me on this work trip, and we got delicious piles of meat on our sandwiches. We checked into the Guest House Hotel, which is a cool little Airbnb-like hotel facility. You kind of have your own suite to yourself with the kitchen, bathroom, all that stuff. And it's very close to the event venue, but incredibly adorable and very comfortable to stay in. And we all had a good time there. I utilized the event map from Chicago Stationery Fest in this spread. Love tearing it, filling it out, and using it as a background. And you get this, like, you get to have a good canvas to put photos on. We arrived in Chicago just a day earlier so that we can set up and get ready for the event. But the actual show was bustling and busy, and days just flew by for the duration of the event. We did manage to go scope out a few sightseeing places after the show is over. Got to hang out with Job and his sister. Got to hang out with Elliot's sister and her boyfriend who lives in the city. All around, we enjoyed our time there, not just working, but also getting to spend more time after the events. Here I filled the pages with a ton of ephemera I purchased during the show, stickers from different shops, the branded stickers from Paper and Pencil, the store that hosted the event. They did an amazing job, and the loft they rented to facilitate the event was just gorgeous the whole time. And I always come away from stationery events with way too much paper, way too much stickers, and my new philosophy is to really just put it all down as much as I can, because once you go beyond the date of the event, they start to gain less relevance, and it's harder and harder to use them beyond the thing you're journaling about. So here's the back trunk of the rental car we got, all stuffed with our suitcases as we depart our hotel. And we got to visit Paper and Pencil in the beautiful Andersonville area. We hung out with a few internet friends who we've known for a long time, and I finally got to go see the Field Museum, where it features Sue, the giant T-Rex. I've always known about it in the US pop culture and like the history and like the iconic motif of Chicago, but to actually see it in person and feel so close to this part of human history or the world history or the earth history. Maybe not even society-wise, but it was pretty amazing. And there happened to be a cat exhibit, and they gave us stickers as part of the ticket. And of course, I had to take Elliot's sticker too. And finally, we got to spend a night in Chicago itself. And I got to hang out with more friends who are in the area. We had a great dinner at this place called Gibson's, where it's just this traditional old school restaurant steak place. And I totally took a nice and satisfying bath at the hotel as well. And actually, the original plan was to stay in Chicago for a few more days longer after the event, maybe even a week. But we ended up having to cut our trip short because I was able to get a last-minute appointment interview to take my citizenship test because I've applied at the beginning of the year, transitioning from my green card. So we weren't able to stay for too long in Chicago. We had to rush back and immediately after we go home. But we do still have to sneak in another meal at the Manny's before we leave. When we get home, it was immediately prepping for the next day to go take the citizenship exam, and I passed. So I was officially a citizen of the United States on March 26th. You would think I would put the date on here. And this is when the cherry blossoms are now in full bloom in Seattle, my favorite time of the year, where I would just go everywhere in the neighborhoods and try to capture these moments. And to kind of end off this refill, we're at the end now, I did give myself a little date to go to the Olympia Town Capitol. What do you call these? Capitol Hall in the city of Olympia with the Urban Sketchers Seattle group. And they have a ton of Yoshino cherry blossoms just on the campus, all blooming gloriously. And even though it's just a short drive from Seattle, you get a complete different view. And we just sat and sketched the buildings, cherry blossoms. It was a gorgeous day and it was pretty amazing. So yeah, this is pretty much the end of this refill for my early spring. I'm so happy that despite my schedule being super packed during this time of the year, I had the leisure to fill in these pages and capture all these precious memories that are pretty much milestones in my life. And I love having the Traveler's Notebook to be my companion for that. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me while I flip through this, and maybe I'll show you guys more. Bye! You're just long boy. Decided to treat ourselves today. Oh yeah. We have the brown. No, this is the brown sugar bubble tea. And I got the green grape. Ooh. So fast. I'm still here and he's done. Cookie, what do you have to say about this? This butt fan is too much. Right up against my face, whipping you guys.